Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevābhūdvijānataḥ. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yesterday we were seeing the result of the inherent nature of the Atma. Anejadekam manaso javiyah nainat deva apnuvan purvamarshot tadhavato anyanatyeti tishtat tasminnapo matarishpadadhati. Anejat ekam manaso javiyah. It does not undergo transmission. It does not transform. It is one non-dual. It is faster than the mind. It is not grasped by the Naina Devaha, not grasped by the sense organs, because it reaches it before that. It is the substratum. Being the substratum, it gives the existence for that which the mind or the sense organ grasp. Okay. Now it runs faster than the others, meaning the mind, the sense organ, etc., and reaches that while staying put. So the movement that is said here is a as though movement, seeming movement. It is not real movement, because same thing cannot move as well as stay put. Therefore, he says tasmin, in that matarishpa, the vital air, the prana, the air, it distributes the actions according to the beings. Meaning it makes all the beings act accordingly, according to their karma. Okay. The same thing is said again, reiterated again. Reiteration, we said it is repetition, error of repetition. This is not error of repetition, because the mantranam jamita nasti. The mantras, the Vedas don't have any laziness. We have laziness. Mantras don't have laziness. Vedas does not have laziness. The only idea for that is to make us understand. That is the only goal for the Vedas. So it is reiterating the same idea again. Tadejati, tannaijati, taddūre, tadvantike, tadvantike, tadantarasya, tadantarasya, sarvasya, tadu bāhyataḥ. Tadejati, tadu na ejati, taddūre, tadvantike, tadantarasya, sarvasya, sarvasyāsya bāhyataḥ. Tadejasi, it moves, it transforms. It does not transform. It is farther. It is closer. It exists in everything, inside of everything, and it exists outside of everything also. It moves, it does not move, or it transforms, it does not transform. It is farther, it is closer, it is inside, and it is outside also of everything. That is the idea here. We'll see this. Now, tadejati. Here, tadejati. First, we'll understand the idea of the opponents. The dualists, they say tadejati, it moves. Tannaijati, it does not move. This moves and that does not move. This I am talking about the creation. The creation moves, and that I am talking about the Narayana, Vishnu. He does not move. So this is a wrong interpretation. Because later he again says tadūre, tadvantike. Tadūre, tadvantike. It is farther, it is closer. That is farther, that is closer. That the tad word used there in all these is pointing out to the common one. Tad ejati, tad na ejati, tad dure, tad antike. That moves, that does not move, that is closer, that is farther. So that refers to the same self, not different things in different places. You cannot interpret like that. Okay. So here, ejati, ejable company, we know. Tad means, don't worry. Tad means that which we are talking about. That What is that? The one we are talking about. What is that? The self. So that self does not move. Tadejati, it moves. Tannaijati, it does not move. Means it does not move in itself, by itself, but in association with the embodiments, still it does not move. It seems to move. Still, it does not move. I'll tell you what. While we were coming from Chennai, we had gone for a book release. We were coming from Chennai. So our car was parked next to us in Chennai. Car was parked next to us. There was a big bus. In front of us, there was a vehicle. So suddenly, the person who was driving the car, he was pulling this and he was pressing this brake. He was pulling this and he was checking the handbrake and he was pressing the brake. I said, what happened? No, suddenly I felt the vehicle is moving. This vehicle is not going back. The bus is moving far towards the light, traffic signal. It's moving to the front. So when it moves forward, it seems this vehicle is moving backward. So he is trying to push this, press that and everything to make it stop, make this vehicle stop. So that is what is the movement here. Seeming movement. There is no real movement. At least in the case of the car and the bus, there was a movement in another one. Here, the embodiment, because of the embodiment association, the mind embodiment association, which is also a seeming association. That is also not a real association. That's also superimposed. Because of the superimposed association of the embodiment, the superimposed transaction takes place of movement, etc. Okay. Now, kincha, not just that. Taddūre, it is also very far. That you tell me. Now, taddūre, this again will bring in the dualists. They'll say, see, I told you. You said, no, that is not Paramatma, etc. It very clearly says taddūre. Taddūre means, do you know what? It is far. See, we are not talking about. There was a story called Sindbad in the Tamil Daily, 3-piece cartoon. It will come. It probably started when they started the paper, and it still is there. Now the point is, the villain's life is placed in a parrot inside a cave. Inside a cage, which is inside a cave, which is in the mountain, and to reach there, this hero has to cross 7 seas and 7 mountains and enter the cave. 7 seas, 7 mountains. That is not the case here. Taddūre means 7 seas and mountains. No. 7th cloud. No, not even that. So, what is the meaning of taddūre? The Vaishnavites, the dualists, they'll say, see, this is what I said. Taddūre means it is farther. Farther means there are 108 divine holy sites for Vaishnavites. 108. Out of which 106 can be visited in this earth. 107 and 108 are the Milky Ocean, Kshir Sagara, and the Vaikuntha, Vishnu's abode. So, if you visit the 106, the 107 and 108 are guaranteed. That is how they accept. Now, 106 can be visited, but 107 and 108 cannot be. You cannot go there from here with this body. So, only after death you can go there. So, taddūre, it is farther. Farther where? In the Kshir Sagra, in the Milky Ocean. In the Milky Ocean, there is this Vaikuntha. In that Vaikuntha, no. Taddūre means it is for the idiot, for the ignorant who has not approved and started understanding the truth. Tadvantike. How do you know? Because he says tadvantike. Definitely tadvantike. It is very closer. Closer to whom? The people who approach the Guru and understand it, gain the knowledge. Because the beauty of this self-knowledge is, after the knowledge, you don't have to act. In other places, there is knowledge and action. Like if you want to cook, you have to have the knowledge of cooking. What is that you want to cook? And then you have to start the fire, etc. and do something. Or if you want to reach some place, you have to know where you have to go and which direction you have to go, and you have to start walking or traveling. Now, this self, there is no doing. It is just knowing. Once you know that you are the self, the ignorance is removed, you are that absolute. That is why he says, tadvantike sarvasya. It is inside of everyone as the self, as the inner self. That is what is said. Yes, atma sarvāṇi. In another Shruti, it is said, ya atma sarvāṇi, that self which is existing in everyone, as antaryami, inner self. And tadu sarvasyāsya bāhyataḥ. In whatever you see as the cause-effect relationship, the jagat is a nama rupa kriyatmaka. Jayate gacchati iti jagat is the vitpatti. What is jagat? What is world? World is nothing but name, form, and action. Name, form, and action is what is jagat. You see name, that is jagat. You see a form, that is jagat. You see action, that is jagat. Because in the self, there is neither name, nor form, nor the action. So that jagat, inside that, it is the one which exists as the self, giving it existence. So to understand this is because self is the like ether, like space, all pervading and eternal. Similarly, this we have to understand, it is nirteshya, it's absolute, and it is subtle. That kind of self is what we are talking about. See, if it is so close, then why don't I see that? Just because it is closer. There are 8 reasons. Yesterday we said the Sankhya's, Sankhya philosophers, they accept even though when the object is there, it is not. This is a common thing which is accepted by everyone, but it is written there specifically. Ati durat samipyat indriya ghātātmanaṃ avasthanāt saukshmyavadhānāt vibhavat samāna viharāt. Ati durat, since it is very far, since it is very close, because the sense organs are not proper, because the mind is not proper, saukshma, because it is very subtle, because it is covered by something, veiled by something, or because it is obstructed by something, or because it is in similar, among the similar things. A goat, one goat, if you leave it among the other goats, even though you may name it Kumar, Ram, whatever, where is that? You will not be able to find it immediately. For many of us, people of one nation with respect to another nation will be similar. Oh, is this the person or that the person? For every country, the same thing, right? So here also we have, yesterday I said 3. Actually, we have 4 reasons for not knowing the self, though it is our own existence. Why? Because ati samipyat, it is very close. Saukshmya, because it is very subtle. Then we said ati because it is veiled by ignorance, abhibhavat. And 4th is a mano namasthana, because our mind is not focused. So because of these 4 reasons, we are not able to see the self, even though it is our own inherent nature. Okay, so next. What is the result of knowing this self? The result of knowing this self is to gain Jivan Mukti state, the state of Jivan Mukti, become a Jivan Mukta. What is a Jivan Mukta? Liberation while alive. What does that mean? A state where there is no injunction or prohibition. Vidhi nishedha abhava. Where there is no vidhi or nishedha, injunction or prohibition. A state of freedom. That's the idea. So that is excellent. That result is said in this mantra. Very beautiful mantra. Yastu sarvāṇi bhūtāni ātmaivābhūdvijānataḥ ātmanyevānupaśyati sarvabhūteṣu cātmānaṃ tato. This mantra and the next mantra are very good mantra. So it's better to remember this. Yastu sarvāṇi bhūtāni ātmanyevānupaśyati sarvabhūteṣu cātmānaṃ tato na vijugupsate. Beautiful. One who sees all the beings in oneself and oneself in all the beings, outside in oneself, oneself in all things outside. Tato na vijugupsate. Because of that, he will not be afraid. Let us put it simply like that. He will not be afraid. Okay. Vijugupsa, that's a beautiful word. Vijugupsa. Gupu rakshan is the dhatu. Gupu rakshan is to protect. He will not try to protect himself from it. See, there are two possibilities. You will try to protect, you will try to not protect. You will try to protect if it's an object of hatred. It can be interpreted in that way also. If you won't protect yourself if it is an object of desire. So there is no raga dvesha. That is the idea. Now here, yastu. Yastu means one who sees the self. See, here also Atma is interpreted as Paramatma by the dualist, because of which they create confusion. We have already said that if there is a Jivatma and Paramatma, Jiva and Paramatma, then there is a duality. Dvitiya vai bhayam bhavati. When there is duality, there is fear, definitely. We may say that if God appears in front of me, I will ask for world peace, World Bank, everything. We can ask, say anything. But the reality is, when the God appears in front of us, we will run away. We will be afraid of him. We will be afraid of him and he will be afraid of us, actually. Because we should not encroach in his place. He should not encroach in our place. There is fear always there because of that. Now, here he says, yastu sarvāṇi. Yastu means one who. Who are we talking about? A person, one who is a parivrat, one who is a sannyasi, a monk, renunciate, and one who is a mumukshu, one who desires to gain liberation. So, this person, one who sees everything in himself and himself in everything. This is a beautiful thing we have to understand. Everything in himself or himself in everything. This idea should not be to project yourself in that or project them in yourself. We are talking about identity, non-duality of yourself with others and others with yourself. Not seeing you as that or that as you. Seeing the identity. You see yourself to be non-different from the others and see the others to be non-different, other things to be non-different from yourself, then na vijugupsate, he will not have any vijugupsa. Vijugupsa here can be, you can interpret it from the teaching of Sadhana Panchakam, where it is said, Jana kripa naishthuryamutsrujyatam. Janeshu kripa naishthuryamutsrujyatam. From the people, the kripa, the compassion, nishthurata, the hatred, aversion, compassion or aversion, utsrujitam, give up. Give up the aversion or attraction towards the people. That's the idea. Now here, that is raga dvesha, the desire and hatred. Give up the desire and hatred. Vijugupsa is giving up the desire and hatred for things. That is what was said in the first mantra. Kasya siddhanam, whose money it is? And there is nothing other than yourself. Whose money is it? So the same idea is projected here. Okay. So meaning the body, the which is the karya karana sanghata, from the self, all the embodiments, the Karikarana Sanghata, the body sense organ complex. So you see it to be not different from the self, which is a ever pure, which is a non-dual, which is a attributeless, which is a the witness principle. So that is what is said here. Okay. So if you see something other than you, which is a ishtam, attractive, then you desire that. Okay, raga, there is raga. If you see something to be defective, then you are averse to it. There is dvesha. So there is no raga dvesha in this person. That is the idea here. Now the same idea is repeated, carried forward again in the next mantra. This is another beautiful mantra. yasminsarvāṇi bhūtāni ātmaivābhūdvijānataḥ tatra ko mohaḥ śoka ekatvamanupaśyataḥ yasmin sarvāṇi bhūtāni ātmaivābhūdvijānataḥ tatra ko mohaḥ śoka ekatvamanupaśyataḥ. We always repeat this mantra everywhere. This mantra will be repeated. Tatra ko mohaḥ śoka ekatvamanupaśyataḥ. Where is the reason for delusion? Where is the reason for sorrow? For a person, one who sees identity, non-duality. This we see. Okay, what is this? Yasmin. Yasmin is seventh case. Yasmin, tatra is also seventh case. So yasmin can be understood as yatra. Tasmin, tatra can be understood as tasmin also. Yasmin, tasmin, or yatra, tatra. No issues. Seventh case. What does this seventh case means? In whom or at which point of time? Both can be. It can be interpreted in both time and place, object. Okay. So in whom or when sarvāṇi bhūtāni, all the beings becomes one's own self. When he understands this, then there is no reason for sorrow, delusion or sorrow for a person, one who sees the identity, non-duality. Okay. Ekatvam means the pure absolute self. Means a state which is devoid of the primal ignorance called moola ajnana. There are two kinds of ignorance. One is moola ajnana, the other is sthula ajnana. The ignorance regarding oneself is moola ajnana. The ignorance regarding the object is called as sthula ajnana. Thula. Okay. So moola ajnana, ignorance regarding one's own self, primal ignorance. Sthula ajnana, ignorance regarding the objects, secondary ignorance. There is no reason for primary ignorance or secondary ignorance. Primary ignorance or secondary ignorance, moola jnana, sthula jnana, can be interpreted in another way also, which is avidya's two powers, avarana vikshepa. Avarana, wheeling power, power of wheeling. You don't understand your own inherent nature, because of which vikshepa, the projection, power of projection starts. Okay. So moola jnana, sthula jnana, or avarana vikshepa, which is what is referred to as moha and śoka. Moha is a delusion, wheeling. Śoka is its effect, projection, sorrow. Okay. So avidya, kama, karma. We see this is the order: avidya, kama, karma. Kama and karma, the bija, the root for the seed for kama and karma is moha and śoka. Okay. There is no moha and no śoka. That is the idea. Now he says, yes, in whichever time or whichever place, in whomever, there is no because of the knowledge of absolute self gained through the guru, in a state where his mind is pure, then focused, then he sees everything to be one's own self. All the being has become one's own self. And he understands that, then ko mohaḥ śoka. Where is the need for delusion, or where is the need for He sees the causal self to be existent in everything. He does not see it to be different from the causal self, which is intertwined in every being. Okay. So, again, here also, yasminsarvāṇi bhūtāni ātmaivābhūdvijānataḥ. Here also, they interpret, the dualist interpret the Atma Shabda as Paramatma. Again, as we have already said, Jivatma, Paramatma, if you are going to bring into duality, then you are going to be afraid of it. So, that is not a right interpretation. Okay. So, there is no possibility of śoka and moha when you see the pure self, because śoka and moha are two different states of ignorance, which is the state of the state of feeling and the power of feeling and the power of projection. There is no need for, there is no meaning. See what happens when he understands the truth, then the mula jnana, the primal ignorance, along with the secondary ignorance, gets negated. The cause and effect both get negated. It is not just the effect which is getting negated. It is the effect along with its cause which is getting negated. That's the idea. So we are not only dismissing the creation, we are also dismissing the cause for the creation, which is the ignorance. Okay? Let's see. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevāvashiṣyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.